You know, when you're chatting with an AI, ever stop and wonder what actually happens to that conversation after you close the tab? It turns out we're all playing this new kind of game, the AI privacy game, and a lot of us don't even know the rules. So let's figure out how this game is really being played.
So let me just ask you something. What's the most personal thing you've ever told an AI? I mean, really think about it for a second. Have you asked it about a weird medical symptom? Vented about your boss? Maybe you even brainstormed a top secret project with it. It's kind of wild, right? This surprisingly intimate relationship we're all building with these machines.
And boy, are we sharing a lot. Researchers dug into real-world conversations, and they found something fascinating. We're not just using AI like a calculator or a search engine. Nope, we're treating it like a confidant, almost like a digital confessional.
Okay, just look at this. This is a real-world example. Someone literally copy-pasted an email from their doctor. We're talking diagnostic codes, names, the whole nine yards. They're asking the AI to help them understand a diagnosis. I mean, it doesn't really get much more private than your own health, does it? And it's not just our health records. We're also handing over the keys to our financial kingdom. Here's a user just pasting their entire crypto transaction history and asking the AI to analyze it. I mean, wow. The amount of trust that takes is just off the charts. It's not just personal stuff either. Professionals are all in on this. Check this out. A lawyer asking for help with an opening statement for a case, feeding it what could be super confidential client info. Now, you get it, right? The AI is a huge help for a high-stakes job like that, but the privacy risks, they're absolutely massive. But it gets even deeper than that. The emotional connection here is real. People are actually setting up ChatGPT to be their therapist. They're pouring out their hearts, sharing these incredibly personal struggles and feelings. And you can kind of see why. The AI is so good at conversation, it feels like a safe, non-judgmental space to just let it all out. So this all leads to this big, giant puzzle, doesn't it? We all kind of know on some level that our data is being collected. So why on earth are we sharing so much of our private lives? This, my friends, is the classic privacy paradox. So researchers actually asked people about this, and one answer really it sums it all up. A user said, "There is a price for getting the benefits. It's a fair game." And that right there is what so many of us think. It feels like a fair trade. We get this incredible tool, and the price we pay is our data. It's a transaction. And a lot of the time, that transaction feels like a done deal. You can't negotiate. Other people basically said, look, you can't have it both ways. You either get the awesome AI assistant or you get your privacy. Pick one. But is that really true? Is it really an either-or situation? Well, to get to the bottom of that, we have to dig into how we think AI works. The little picture we have in our heads about what's going on behind the screen. Because, spoiler alert, those pictures are often wrong. And that's where the danger really starts. Get this. These are actual drawings from people in a research study showing how they imagine AI works. On the left, you see one person just thinks it's, well, magic, a total black box. The person on the right thinks it's like a super searcher, just scanning the internet for keywords. Now, these ideas aren't totally useless. They help us use the tool, but they completely 100% miss what's actually happening with our privacy. And on top of all that, there's this little psychological trick at play. The AI sounds so human, doesn't it? So we start treating it like a human. Our guard just drops, and we end up sharing way more than we'd ever type into a plain old search box. Because it doesn't feel like we're inputting data. It feels like we're having a chat. Okay, so we've got these wrong ideas in our heads, and the AI is psychologically nudging us to overshare. But what the research uncovered next, well, it suggests this isn't just on us. The game itself might just be rigged. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, can't you just opt out? Like go into the settings and just turn off the data training? Seems simple enough, right? But it is not that straightforward. Not at all. So this is the main setting page most of us see. And I want you to look really closely at that button. It says Chat History and Training. They're bundled together. So if you want to protect your privacy and stop them from training on your data, you have to sacrifice your entire chat history. They're forcing you to choose between privacy and a super useful feature. But here's the kicker. There is a way to have both. You can keep your history and opt out of training. It's just totally buried. You have to go digging through some random FAQ article, find a link, and then fill out a whole other form. And get this, in the study, not one single person was able to find it by themselves.
Yeah, that's not an accident. There's a name for this kind of thing. It's called a dark pattern. It's when a user interface is designed on purpose to nudge you or even trick you into doing something you probably don't want to do, like, say, hand over your data. Suddenly, that whole fair game idea starts to feel, well, not so fair, does it?
And this brings us to the biggest, most hidden rule of the whole game. It's called memorization risk, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. Since our private chats are being used to train the AI, the model can actually memorize pieces of our information, your name, your address, that secret project, and then it can accidentally spit it out in an answer to a total stranger. Yeah.
And look, this is not some far-off theoretical risk. This is a direct quote from a user who watched it happen in real time. He was using an AI coding tool, he typed in his classmate's name, and the AI auto-completed his friend's private school ID number. The model had just memorized it. All of a sudden, this isn't an abstract idea anymore. It's terrifyingly real. So, okay, where does all this leave us? Do we just throw our hands up and stop using these incredible tools? No, not at all. But what we do need to do is start playing a much, much smarter game. So let's just quickly recap the game plan here. 1, we're pouring our hearts out to AI, sharing really sensitive stuff. 2, our mental picture of how it all works is totally off, which hides the big risks, like memorization. And 3, this system itself is often designed with these sneaky dark patterns to push us away from privacy. Look, the goal here isn't to make you paranoid about AI. It's to make you aware, to help you understand that every single chat you have is part of this game. A game with rules, with real risks, and a lot of hidden trade-offs. Because once you know the rules, and once you realize the game might be rigged, that's when you get your power back. You can start making smarter choices. You can be more careful about what you share. And hey, maybe we can all start demanding a fair game from the people who build these things. Which really leaves us with one last big question. If we know it's not a fair game, shouldn't we be the ones to change the rules?